Ladies, are you aware that medication, fashion trends, incorrect or hyper-cleansing, pregnancy, and sex can all act like a bulldozer in our vaginal rainforest? This discussion, just between us girls, aims to provide you with some tools for better all health and wellness, and especially intimate health and wellness, or what I call intimate fitness.
We're going to be talking about pH, and we're going to be talking about pH as a whole throughout the body, and especially what happens below the belt. Have any of you been hearing about pH either in advertising, newspapers, anything like that? Okay, but no one really tells us why pH is important or how it affects our health. So without getting too scientific about it, you see here that there's a range of 0 to actually 14, 0 being very acidic, and 14 being very alkaline. And pH stands for potential of hydrogen, which is the number of ions that are in a solution or in a fluid. So the most important fluid in our body that we want to maintain the correct pH of is our blood. There are about 4 things that will change our body's pH. Diet is the number 1 thing. The other one is stress influences our body's pH, our environment, and medications that we might be on. So what I'm going to recommend to you for maintaining good body pH, because we want to stay in that 7 range. So water's a 7, healthy saliva, as you see here, is in the 6-7 range. And urine is around 6. And you can actually see how you influence your body's pH with what you're consuming. So the recommendation is that your diet is about 80% alkaline and only 20% acidic. Disease loves an acidic environment, so another great reason for us to keep ourselves in that mid-range of 7. Regarding the like medication and stress, learn stress management tools, whether it's meditation, yoga, talk to your doctor about medications you're on, how that might affect your pH, and what you can do to help regulate that. And then environment, we just all may as well move to Montana and live in the fresh mountain air. Okay, so now we're going to move below the belt to talk about pH in the vagina. Who, ladies, do you talk to about the mysteries, the wonders, and the pitfalls of your vagina? Because a lot of people don't talk to anybody about it, and it does remain a mystery. And you know, it's too bad that as a society we tend to be uptight and restrained and a little bit embarrassed about our vaginas, because really think of what a miraculous place it is. It's part of our reproductive system, a very important part, and that's pretty amazing. So it's beautiful and it's miraculous, and it's not something that we should be at all embarrassed or ashamed of. Our vaginas are like a delicately balanced rainforest. And the reason is it's full of microorganisms, flotsam and jetsam, that are all in a little dance for dominance. And unlike the rest of the body, we want the vagina and the vulva to be very acidic in the 4 range, because that's when the microorganisms, the good ones called Lactobacillus flora, are dominating the forest. Now, what happens when Lactobacillus flora start to die off? The reason they may is because we go up into alkaline mode. And I'm going to cover this afternoon what makes that imbalance happen, and for the Lactobacillus flora to give up dominance to either Candida, which is what causes those lovely yeast infections, as well as BV, bacterial vaginosis. We also get UTIs. So who here has experienced any of those things? Right, okay. So we're not alone, as you can see from the hands that went up. 75% of women get at least one of those infections in their lifetime. 50% of us have them at least one, or, well, more than just one. So it's really common. And the most common infection that OB-GYNs see is bacterial vaginosis. What happens with when our rainforest gets imbalanced and we move up into the alkaline area is Candida, which causes yeast infections, and bacterial vaginosis can happen. And that's when the dreaded 4 eyes step in. Irritation, inflammation, itching, and infection. We've all been there, right? And also there can be a discharge that's odd. Maybe it has a strange odor or a strange texture. And we can also have some burning and even tearing sometimes, fissures.